You got to remember one thing. Back in the 800s, not 1692, not 1792, not 1892, not 1992, but back in the 800s, the first boats arrived in Florida with slaves. That's why Florida's trying to wipe out them books. But I know where you can go, right? Hit me in the comment section. I'll tell you where you can go to read the books. Right here in Atlanta, 800 slaves were brought into Florida. Okay? And not through the British. All right? So we've been here that long. What have we got to show for it? What kind of hope and optimism is it? 1,200 years later, where's the hope and the optimism? I found out when I was born, and Jesse Jackson is the one who exposed this. And one of the, what was that president's name? Bush. He decimated Jesse Jackson's career, told about all his babies, his girlfriends, the whole 9 yards, exposed the whole thing. This doggone man, he just told too much and he paid for it with his life. But these people, man, that we have up there on Capitol Hill, they're all bad. How do you get there? You got to be bad. And Jesse Jackson told some of the stories. And here's one story that I'm never going to forget. When I was born, I was assigned my Social Security number in the hospital. The 4th and the 5th digit of that Social Security number are 42. Even number. Talk to anybody my age, and everybody I've asked my age up until when Bush got in office and Jesse Jackson blew the whistle on it, the 4th and the 5th number equal a even number. That's what they use for redlining. So if you go to buy a car and you got excellent credit and your number and them 4th and 5th digits equal 42 like mine, which is an even number, you're not getting 0%. You're not getting the interest rate on the car you want. You're not getting interest rate on the loan that you want to start a business because they know who you are without looking at you. Think about that. And that went on from the time Social Security came in. That went on for decades. Think about that.
Yeah.
That's deep. How much do you need to manage somebody to make sure that they're going to stay in poverty? I got an idea. Let's give them a Social Security number that we can redline them with. Donald Trump and his daddy were using that against black people in Brooklyn, New York when I was a kid. No, you can't move. I looked at 57 Marcy Avenue on YouTube last week. It's still the same paint. It's the same on the doors. It's all scratched up. You can see the metal through the paint. It's still the same tile on the floors. It's still the same benches in the park. You understand what I'm saying?
Good point.
And Donald Trump and his daddy set that crap up.
And he talked about so much infrastructure trying to rebuild as him becoming president and putting money in that. We still ain't seen that either.
Yeah,
we
ain't
seen
coming.
it in New York. We didn't see it in New York.
Nowhere in New York.
It doesn't start nor stop with Donald Trump. This has been going on in every city
Everywhere,
throughout
anytime.
America.
Every. You're correct about that.
And even in black countries, you'll see that, but it'll be more. It's blacks or the more affluent class system doing it to other blacks.
But you see, you're talking about the tree. I'm talking about the roots.
It's still roots.
Donald
Still
Trump and his daddy are the roots of that whole effort up there in New York.
Yeah.
They were the roots of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it kept on going after that. They put the seeds in there, they watered it, they put the dirt over the seeds, and they cultivated them roots, and the trees popped up. He don't deserve to be in charge of me. Maybe you, but not me. See what I'm saying? Not me. Because I've seen cops get out of them green, white, and black police cars with the single red door light on the top of it. I'm going to have to beep this. Nigga, where you going? And right now to this day, if I ride past a cop car parked on the side of the road, I'm looking in my rear view mirror to see if he's going to stop me. Right now to this day, I'm looking at racism so hard that every time I see somebody black pulled over, 9 out of 10 of them are black. I very seldom see a white person pulled over by a police officer. You just don't see it. We're still in the middle of this. And we got a man who is an absolute disguise. He's a disguise. He knows how to hide the truth. He got them little tiny words he says, the ignorant, that the third graders run along, whatever. I wouldn't go to a rally and watch Donald Trump stay up on stage and doing this for 39 minutes for anything in this world. But they love it.
Love them. I remember
If Kamala Harris if I went to some place and Kamala Harris pulled up that trick, I'd tell my wife, let's go. I can watch this on the news tonight.
I want to ask you, D, were you in New York when the Central Park 5 was going on?
Oh, Lord.
You were?
Mm-hmm.
How did that affect you? 'Cause I want to tell you how it affected me, but how did did it mean anything to you? Did it affect you, or what was your thoughts?
I was young, but to have an opinion like I would have now, I saw the effect of it, and it was big in New York. But it just looking at it now, I just look at it as the black and white relations. I look at it as hasn't changed. It's been consistent. It has been consistent. And that's what I look at it. It's just like we can pull stories upon stories of situations like that from then, before then, till now, and that's a whole nother conversation. And I could go deeper into it, from historically, but that's a whole nother conversation, and that's just something we're gonna have to pray about, and I don't think it's gonna change till the greatest man who walked the planet come back, which is Jesus. That's what I believe. But I just think that those
he coming. He coming.
That relation is not going to change. All we can do is we can try to do our part individually in change. Because it's a naive statement to say all white people are bad.
Of course,
they're not.
Of course,
they're
all
not.
black people eat watermelon.
Of course,
that's a naive statement. So I just think that individually is going to take individual change, and it's a system at bay. So you're fighting a system, and we understand the system. You can look at the incarceration rates and understand that it's a system, and it's bigger than just that situation.
Okay, so what I got to ask you is this.
Okay.
I got to ask you this. Trump wins. He has the Senate and he has the Congress. Do you have any fear?
No. I don't
And you
fear.
see, that's one of the things that have kept our people at bay is a lack of fear. When the Civil War was over, and they said, okay, you can go. They wouldn't go. They waited until 30, 40, 50 years later to go.
Mm-hmm.
And they only went because of money up north because of World War II.
Mm-hmm.
We have never had fear because black people are a spiritual people.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And a lot of those people who would take you, castrate you, cut your toes off, cut your woman's breast off, cut your ear off, take an eye out your head, you can't tell me that those are spiritual people.
Come on now. I agree with that totally. I agree. When you said that, the situation resonated inside of me. It was a shooting some years ago in the church. Was it South Carolina or North Carolina?
That was
Where
was it Charlotte?
I don't know what
I went
what
to
city.
that. I went down there to see that church.
But it was horrific. It was on a Wednesday night.
Bible study.
Bible study.
Yeah.
And quite a few people got shot and killed. And the mother of the minister who got killed, not 2 days, not 3 days, not a week later, the next day they interviewed her. She said, I forgive the young man who killed my son the next day. And I was blown away because it takes a level of spirituality and maturity to forgive someone who has killed your child in such a dark manner, you know. So, as you say, black people are spiritual. They're spiritual people. Because it has to be a place of spirituality for her to forgive.
Just think about
the killer of her son.
Somebody take your daughter,
right,
take her out and put her in the shack and rape her.
Mm-hmm.
Then she come home and tell daddy, and she get whooped and get stripes, whip stripes put on her back for telling daddy.
Mm-hmm.
And then you forgive.
Mm-hmm.
That's spirituality right there, man.
Absolutely.
That ain't got nothing to do with no way you were trained or nothing else. That's what's inside of you.
Absolutely.
And we get that more than anybody on the face of the earth.
Absolutely.
And that's why every time I talk about that subject, there's one line in the Bible that comes to my mind.
Mm-hmm.
The weak shall inherit the earth.
Mm.
And right now, it looks like the weak in Africa are getting ready to inherit the earth over the next 50 years.
Mm.
What's going on in Africa right now?
Mm-hmm.
And we don't want to go to Africa. But what's going over there economically and spiritually, the way they tying themselves together? I was the video director of the largest gospel concert in the world, 3 years in a row, in Lagos, Nigeria. 1 million people on the outside and the inside of the stadium. No police. There was no police in there. Why? Because of their spirituality. They came there for something. They came there to be close to the Lord. And that right there is the key to this whole thing.
Absolutely.
I'm looking at these two sides in this election. One side got more hate in it than the other side. And I don't want to see the side with the greater hate win. Because that greater hate is, I'm going to say it again, I tell this to people all the time, they look at me like I'm crazy. A roach is a roach. If a roach gives birth, he does not give birth to bumblebees. A bumblebee is a bumblebee. If they give birth, they do not give birth to a deer. Someone who is growing up in the atmosphere of superiority, they grow up with it. When they used to hang slaves at the picnics, they used to show the kids who used to take pictures with the slaves that were hanging from the trees dead. How do you wipe that out in a generation?
Right.
So they grow up, I don't want them around us. And it's just hard for me to conceive of myself voting for somebody who's got the Proud Boys, who's got MAGA, who's got all of these things involved. I'd rather stay home and not vote for anybody.
Why? Because he's so bad?
Because I don't see anything different about that 47% of the country. I don't see anything different about them now than it was then. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
I just don't see any difference.
Mm.
Show me the difference, I'll buy into it. I ain't seen no difference yet.
Right.
But brothers, we got
Can I share just one thing?
man, you can go ahead and close this.
Okay, I ain't gonna close, but I just want to say we were talking about the Central Park 5.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
For me, when I was there in New York, it really affected me
Mm-hmm.
a great deal. And Donald Trump was at the forefront of leading that. I was a kid. It had me so petrified and scared
Yeah.
to go to the park, to be out, lights are getting dim. And I was a kid. It was about my daughter's age. I wasn't concerned about watching the news. I wasn't concerned about reading the newspaper.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't avoid it. It was everywhere. And everywhere was Donald Trump's face promoting that these guys need to be incarcerated, prison, even to the point of executed. Exactly. Even the point of execution. Time went by. After that, the guys had horrible lives. Families broken, shattered. Everything attached to them kind of messed up. You mentioned about the
16?
No, the cases, the affirmative action cases with the housing and discrimination. That was big. We come all the way, don't hear anything about Trump for 10, 15 years. Now he's promoting all the boxing matches. He's getting more common into the community. People are celebrating his fame and his celebrityism. Everybody, rappers are talking about him now. Now he becomes celebrity apprentice. And in the midst of this, many failed businesses reinvents itself. It's great to be able to reinvent yourself, but it sure helps having a $400 million start. And so come to him becoming president. And it's like, okay, people do change. We got to give people the benefit of the doubt. That's what I'm thinking in my head and in my mind, in my heart, and my spirit. Like you saying you're a Christian, I was raised as a Christian as well. And that's what we have to think, that people will show the higher being of themselves. Here we are 10, 15 years later, and here we come right back again. Donald Trump's same rhetoric comes up again. This zebra didn't change his stripes. Just to lead back to what he was saying, this was the root. And yeah, you can make it look good. You can put on perfume on a pig for a little while and it smells pretty good. But at the end of the day, it's still a pig. So that's all I got to say.
And to follow up on what he's saying, what he did to Atlantic City, he destroyed Atlantic City. We're getting ready to end this podcast, so you're going to have to go and find out on your own what Donald Trump did to Atlantic City. If you live up there, you know. If you live up there, you will remember not too many years ago that they took Trump Tower up there, his pride and joy, his casino, and they had an auction. And the person that won the auction was a black person, and he got to push the button to blow it up and bring the building down. That's how much he was hated in Atlantic City by white and black people for the way he fleeced that town and broke it up. How he got past that, I never understood. How he got past the rapes, how he ever gets past anything. There's only one explanation that I can have for it.
He's Great White Hope.
There it is. He is the driver of the bus. Anybody can get on the bus, but he's the driver. You're going to go where he says you're going to go. And if I truly want to end with this statement, I just pray that if he does win by some type of, I wouldn't call it a miracle, if he does win, I just hope his words about what's going to happen when he does win, I hope he does catch Jesus and the Holy Spirit before he tries those things.
What if he doesn't win?
If he does,
If he does not
it's
win?
going to, I believe people might just walk past that and try again in another 4 years. Mm-hmm. We went from Tea Party to MAGA, the Proud Boys and all this stuff. Another association will come up for them all to join.
Well, I'm thinking if he does not win and he does not want to admit the election results, where does that put us as a people and as a country?
In hell. In hell. Just imagine this. You're living here in Georgia and you're riding down a winding, we call them snake roads, and all of a sudden you got 10 men out there with shotguns and they stop your car and they call you the N-word and ask you, what are you doing on this road? Because that's what I foresee. It's not going to be peaceful. If they can do what they did to the White House on J6, imagine what else they could do.
Scary.
It's scary. We want to thank everybody for joining us. It's too bad we didn't start this earlier, because with the election as far off as it is now, it's only 2 weeks. We could have done so much more. This brother might have even got his chance to make us vote for Trump.
But now he's going to vote for Kamala Harris.
You see these two
No
fingers
way.
right here? You
No
see the
way.
two fingers?
No way.
But the outcome, and I think the United States might get another chance, because I think we're going to see what the United States is really made of come November the 5th. I'll be calling you each up on November the 5th, and we're going to have a follow-up podcast on this. Is that a deal?
Good, so.
You got a
Hey,
deal.
we should do a watch party that night.
We can do that too. We can put it on. We can stream it live.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Don't forget, I just need to add something to it. I'm bringing some of my friends. My
Bring 'em.
Trumpers. Don't be scared.
No,
now.
we ain't
Don't be
bringing
scared.
no MAGA people can't come in.
You know what? you know what? I'm not scared of them. You know why?
Yeah. No, they're civilized folks, though.
You know
They're
why?
Civilized, yeah.
You know why I'm not scared of them?
Go ahead.
Because they're harmless. Without Mr. Trump, they're harmless.